Now, as you well know, here in Nigeria, the process is underway to choose a new president in 2023. The term of President Buhari is drawing to a close, but it's by no means clear who will fill his role. For the moment, attention is tending towards four leading contenders: Atiku Abubakar of the PDP, Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the APC, Peter Obi of the Labour Party, and Rabiu Kwankwaso of the NNPP. With the victory of the PDP in Osun State, the ruling party, the APC, is reassessing its strategy as 2023 starts to look less certain. So what's next for them and for the other parties in the contest for Aso Rock? Well, for more on this, I'm joined now in the studio by the former governor of Kebbi State and former minister of the Federal Capital Territory of Abuja, Senator Adamu Aliero, who's also currently a member of the upper house of Nigeria's National Assembly. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Charles,
for joining us. Somebody might say that you jumped ship just in time.
Yeah, just recently. Exactly.
You switched from the APC to the PDP in June.
Correct.
So the APC's political torturer-in-chief, the PDP, celebrating in Osun State after successfully pushing the APC government out of power there. What's your reaction to that? Well,
my reaction to that it is not unexpected, because the APC in Osun State has been embroiled into serious internal crisis. The former governor of the state, who happens to be the minister in charge of internal affairs, is at loggerheads with the governor. He is the immediate past governor of the state, and he has been having a random battle with the present governor. And there is also another former governor who also assisted the PDP in winning the election in Osun State, Governor Oyetola. And people are not really surprised that the APC lost election because of this internal crisis, internal rivalries between the governor and the former governor and their supporters and what have you. There has been fundamental disagreements, particularly on the party structure and also on the policies and programs of the government. The Minister of Internal Affairs did not mince words in making his mind known to virtually everybody that cares. He was at the party headquarters. I saw him. We had several meetings with him, expressing his reservations about the way affairs of Osun State have been governed. He showed his total dislike on the running of the government, and he made it very clear that things must be done properly, otherwise the APC will lose. So, and all his attempts were not helpful. Yes, they were not helpful because they were all rebuffed, and eventually he didn't participate actively in the campaign or in the electioneering campaign. He just decided to step aside and allow people to decide, and that's exactly what happened.
And there were also allegations that the APC government in Osun did everything to frustrate the PDP there, including not allowing them to use any state facilities to hold their rallies, etc. But as their supporters put it, people power still won the day.
I had the same allegations, and to be honest with you, it's not peculiar to Osun State alone. Virtually wherever there is a sitting governor and then there is a strong opposition, the governor tends to muzzle the opposition by making sure that he denies them access to state facilities like stadium, lodges, and what have you. And that's not healthy for our politics, because stadium is supposed to be for the people in the state. And regardless of their political party, you are supposed to have access to such facilities. So it is wrong for the governor to deny opposition party access to public facilities, whether it is stadium you're talking about or lodges, government lodges, and what have you.
And of course, you were a member of the APC until just last month.
Correct.
I mean, you left in June. So and you were a pretty prominent member of the APC. I mean, let's be quite clear on that. Why do you think they? I mean, I know you touched on a little bit of it, but expand on that a bit. Why do you think they lost the plot, and by extension, the election in Osun State?
Well, I've already told you.
Well, I mean,
that,
it can't have been just because, I mean, most of the people were
another thing
privy
is
to this.
The performance of the governor.
Right.
The civil servants of the state have been complaining that the governor performed woefully. And the people also are complaining that there have not been infrastructural development in the state compared to what the former governor was doing. And he inherited a lot of debt, and that made him not to perform. And even though he got what we call the budget support, he got what we call also the Paris Club refund, huge sums of money, but according to what we have been hearing from Osun State, there is nothing to show for it. And the people showed their anger by voting him out of office.
Well, I was going to ask you some questions about the APC until obviously it became clear that you had sort of left the party. What strategy do you think that the PDP now has, having won Osun State, to build on that and try to expand its victory from just Osun State to, you know,
the strategy the PDP is going
general
to use,
elections next
year? The strategy
year.
the PDP is going to use is simple. PDP is in control of about 13 states for now. And in virtually all the states where APC is controlling, we have preponderance of PDP supporters. And there are states where APC won narrowly. Take, for example, a state like Kano. APC won Kano by a narrow margin. States like Jigawa, equally APC won by a narrow margin. State like Kaduna, APC won by a narrow margin. States like even Kogi, APC won by a narrow margin. So we are going to build on the support we have, the support base we have now. And we're also going to capitalize a lot on the performance of APC in government, whether at the federal level or at the state level, to campaign vigorously and ensure that we get the support of the people. And we have a very good presidential candidate. And we have also a very good deputy or vice presidential candidate. And both of them are not controversial. And they are accepted nationally by generality of Nigerians. And it's going to be an easy sale for PDP.
I mean, it's astonishing, really, with all due respect to you, that literally 1 month ago, you were speaking on behalf of the APC as vociferously as you are now, as a strong, stern, sort of fierce supporter of the party, and then a month later you're saying the exact opposite.
Well, I'm telling you what exactly is the situation now on the ground. Politics is dynamic. Anything can change anytime. And within 1 week, things can change. And that's exactly what happened. I changed from APC to PDP. And I have no apology for doing that. I have a strong reason for doing it. And I'm strongly backed by my supporters and followers back home. And before I do that, I went and consulted them very widely, and they all supported me that I should move out of APC because it doesn't stand a chance of contesting under the APC. And equally myself, if I remain in APC, I will be completely sidelined. And because of that, I said, okay, fine. If that is the case, let's go out together. And that's exactly what happened.
So the big issue for you, and I don't mean to dwell on it, because obviously they've looked at it. I mean, you've been gone a month and people have examined it quite a lot.
We spoke severally on that.
But I mean,
just to intend to...
sure, well, we're not going to dwell on that, but just to clarify that you left the party for your own personal sort of reasons, not because it seems that the Nigerian people...
There is nothing personal about my departure.
Well, you said you were being sidelined. That's a personal
My supporters have been sidelined. My followers have been sidelined. And if I talk about being sidelined, it's not only on question of, contesting for positions, even on the issue of performance of the governor. There's nothing to show for the 7 years the governor has been in power in Kebbi State.
Right.
And people are completely disaffiliated, disillusioned. They are not happy with the way the government is being run.
Right.
Huge sums of money have gone into the state, and there is nothing to show, to the people of the state.
Well, obviously, the governor there is going to have a different take on that. But
he will have. But I'm telling you, this is the situation now in the state.
Right. Well, let's talk about what appears to be a growing movement for change in Nigeria, led by young people of this country in particular, but also INEC, who are promising to deliver a clean election where all votes will count. How much support do you think this movement for change has among the existing political class, for instance? Because it is the political class of which you're a part that in many ways is the target of this movement for change.
I'm in support of movement for change. I am in support of the youth coming into politics to play their own role. Some of us, the moment we see the youth coming, we will encourage them. We will even try to assist them to take over, because we cannot be there permanently.
Yeah, but you're running for a fourth term next year as Senate.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you've been a governor, you've been a minister of the FCT, and you're running for a fourth time as Senator.
At my age, I can still run for another term. I'm yet to be 70.
Yeah, but you're talking about clearing the decks for the young people. How are they going to get in if you keep running?
We are willing them to come and take over from us. And I'm in support.
And you're grooming some of them,
of course.
Okay.
Quite a number of them I groom.
Right.
There are quite a number of them that I groom.
Well, let's talk about the other...
I'm still doing that.
Sure. Well, let's talk about the other political issues of the day, which seem to be constituting a growing problem for at least one of the parties. For instance, this Muslim ticket. I mean, that's been opted for by the APC. What is your reaction to that?
I'm not in support of this argument of Muslim ticket, Christian ticket, because I believe it is diversionary. We should be more concerned with the quality of people we are bringing in. We should talk about their competence, their character.
So if you're not concerned
their
about
ability to deliver, yes.
So you don't mind if it's a Muslim
I don't mind if it's a Muslim ticket. I don't mind if it's a Christian ticket. All I want is somebody who can perform regardless of his religion, regardless of his state, regardless of his region, regardless of his ethnic background. I want somebody who is credible, who can perform, who have a track record of service in politics. This should be our guiding principle.
But given
not necessarily to talk about his religion.
No, I understand that. But given the delicate political
this
balances,
is not the first time we have been having Muslim ticket.
Yeah, but it was
Christian ticket.
Yeah, it was
I think
different time.
If I could remember, as far back as 1978, 79, we had a Christian ticket, and nobody talked about it. Chief Oyetola was a Christian. Chief Philip Omedi was also a Christian, and they contested election under the platform of UPN.
Yeah, but some would argue that the times are different.
The times are different, and then we have Muslim ticket with Abiola and Kingibe. I mean, nobody talk about it. Why now? Why should people?
Well, I mean, you're considered to be a very astute politician. Do you think that, given the circumstances that we live in today, that decision is likely to affect the outcome of the presidential election? Could it swing the votes against the APC?
I think people should be more concerned with the ability and capacity of the presidential candidate instead of his religion or his ethnic background. We should grow beyond, talking about cleavages, our differences. We should all come out and support somebody who has the capacity to unite this country, not be talking about division based on religion, ethnicity, and where you come from. Our politics should grow. We should be more progressive instead of retrogressing. That's my take on that. Muslim ticket, right. Christian ticket, it's not important to me. What is important is the ability to perform as a leader.
Well, I appreciate your sharing your take with us, and it's always a pleasure to have you on the program. You're a very forceful speaker. Senator Adamu Aliero is the former governor of Kebbi State, a former minister of the Federal Capital Territory of Abuja. He's also currently a member of the upper house of Nigeria's National Assembly and, as we heard, of course, a member of the PDP. Thank you very much.